Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. You have found the Gamer Social Club podcast. I'm your host, Nathan, and I am joined by none other than the F-Bomb Fraser. What's up, homie?
Hey man, how we doing? I'm really good, thank you.
And then
Really good.
how are you, Russell?
Other than these technical difficulties, not bad.
Yeah,
Nice.
you've not been having a good one this morning,
Yeah,
have you?
it's been rough getting on.
Okay,
And
y'all are back on my screen. Great.
Great. That's good. That's good.
Okay, yeah, at least you can see us now. Uh,
Yeah.
Here at the Gamers Social Club here at the Gamers Social Club podcast, we like to talk about news, what's going on, and just what our favorite games are. And this week we're going to talk about becoming human, right?
Once human.
Once you
Almost. Once. So yeah, do you know what? Becoming human. That's fine. That's totally fine.
I feel like what is
be-
becoming human? Is that a movie or a band or because I feel like it's a thing.
Oh, it is a thing.
Hold on.
It is a thing, but I don't know what that thing is.
I'm looking at it.
Becoming-
I kept calling it. I kept calling it more human for some reason
Yeah.
when I was searching for it in Steam. I'm not sure.
Something human. Just type in
Yeah,
human. It's
I think More Human is a horror movie.
yeah, could be.
Let's see.
Maybe.
I'm not getting anything. Hold on, let's see. I see a documentary. That's about
Becoming
it.
human. Yeah, no, the name, I feel like the name should be something.
Detroit becoming human. That's what I'm thinking
Oh,
of.
there you go. Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
Okay, so More Human is apparently a book. I don't know where I would have known that.
No, I don't know that one.
So we're gonna be
Okay,
talking
more human,
about.
it sounds like some sort of metal thing.
We're gonna be talking about
Maybe
a
that's where that would make
1974
sense.
documentary today.
Called Becoming Human about Detroit.
Exactly. Live from Columbus, Ohio. Except it's not live. So, and then let's see. What next do we have on the agenda? All right. Okay. What have we been up to this week, fellas?
Russell, what have you been up to, man?
Other,
like
than other than trying not to cook, actually the heat's gotten a lot better. We're peaking at about 90 degrees now. So,
Oh, that's not too bad.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Other than that, and playing the game that we're about to talk about, playing other games and going to work basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's work going?
Not too bad. I was a little surprised. I actually could have gotten on like a half hour ago, technical difficulties aside.
Mhm.
At around 2:30, my boss walked up to me and literally asked me what the fuck I was still doing in the plant. At which point I was
I
confused.
love
'cause
that.
at which point I was confused because I still had an hour left, and he was just like, "It's far too nice to be in here, so just go home."
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
I love that. That is
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
That's awesome. What kind of work do
Brilliant.
you do, Russell?
I'm not gonna get into who I work for, but
yeah, no, that's
I work in the shipping department at a window factory.
Okay. That's some rough work.
Yep.
I've had some buddies who work at like
Can
Windows
be.
companies.
It
and
can be.
Stuff. Okay.
So, did you, so you've been playing Once Human. What else? What else have you been playing?
Myself, well, I guess I can talk about this now.
I was getting
there
ready,
is a
yeah.
new game. Yeah, there's a new game. What the hell's the name of it? Aku, I think is how you pronounce it. CACU.
Okay.
I've actually been having a lot of fun with that. Unfortunately, it released today, and I found out that I may have gotten myself more into what I thought I was bargaining for. Based on the
Oh.
trailer, I thought I was getting ready to play like an 8 or 10 hour game, and the main story might be over 30 hours.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, and
What? Tell us.
this is a review game, so that's why Dano in the Discord was like, I don't know if Russell's gonna be able to do Evil v Evil.
Right.
So yeah, I just got the code yesterday, so it's not like he expected me to get it done
Yeah.
today anyway. But
What is it? I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, me neither.
I hadn't before a couple days ago either. Gameplay wise, did either one of you play Immortals Phoenix Rising?
I
No.
didn't. No, I've seen stuff about that, and it was on my list for a while, but then it just got cut. I never got
So,
around to playing it.
so yeah, so not story wise, but like gameplay and map wise, it's kind of like a smaller version of that. Mixed in with like some, I don't know, like N64 style platforming.
Oh, okay. Those old school platformings, that was when it was done right. Like the platforming nowadays sucks. Like you
Yeah.
need a grappling hook and all that. That's my one gripe about fucking what's that one that the
The
first
first
Descendant.
Descendant.
Yeah. Like I've put like 30 plus hours into that now and I still can't get the hang of that grappling hook.
Really, it just doesn't get any
Nah.
better.
Damn.
Yeah, I just can't use it. I don't use it.
Yeah.
I'm that guy who's like lagging behind because I'm trying to make these jumps that you need the grappling hook for. Okay. What? Okay, I might have to look it up. Like, yeah, I've never even heard it. What is it? CACU? Kaku?
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. I think it might still be. It just dropped today. I think it might still be or might be on sale for under $20.
Okay.
It
Cool.
just it's been an early access. I was actually a little ticked off because I had about 4 or 5 hours into a save, and it looks like the bust out of early access appears to have deleted my save file.
No.
So
Oh gosh.
yeah,
Yeah, that's horrid.
yeah.
That's
No,
gonna set you
on
back a little bit.
Steam it's going to be on console. I think they've
Okay.
confirmed that. It's
Yeah.
not right now, but on Steam,
Okay.
it's on sale for $18.74.
All right.
Okay.
Normally
it's pro-
$25.
Yeah, it's probably about
So
25 for me. Okay. I'll pop it on the list and I'll take a look at it and see. I might even just wait for your review.
Yeah, just see what you think of it first.
See what you think of it, and then I'll make a decision.
yeah, I'm hoping to have it maybe next weekend. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't. There wasn't a lot known. I couldn't find a lot of info about it. I didn't know anyone that had the early access version.
No. Okay.
But yeah, it turns out the I may have gotten a little in over my head as far as reviewing this and reviewing Evil v Evil.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few coming out in the next month. Like I think
Yeah,
last week or the week before, I've done three reviews in 2
damn.
weeks.
Yeah, you've
And
been on top.
one of them was massive.
Well,
Wait, which one was the biggest
up until
one?
I got this code, up until I got the
Um,
code for this, I hadn't reviewed much. So I just been
Yeah.
helping Dano with the news mostly.
Yeah.
And now I got this and maybe EV Evil. I want to play Evil v Evil really bad because it looks like a Doom clone kind of, but with vampires instead of
Ooh.
demons.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the first
But
Ascendant was the big one.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah,
was
that makes sense.
yeah, that was the big one. And then I've just had a couple of like indie horrors.
Yeah,
Have
'cause
you done? Sorry, Nathan?
you did Still Wakes the Deep, and then what was the third one? Because I was looking at
I
our
did-
review section the other day, and it's just F-bomb Fraser, F-bomb Fraser. F-bomb.
Scholar's Mate was another one.
Okay.
And I wanna talk about that a bit later because it was
Okay.
good.
Okay.
And then I did Horror Tales: The Beggar,
Okay.
and man, I can't remember. There's one other, but I can't remember.
Okay.
So long ago, last
Yeah.
week.
It's hard to, dude. I'm telling you, it feels like I just still feel like I'm in hypercharge mode, and like from the interview week, and like yeah, the year's getting all mixed up all over the place because week by week it feels like a different month. Ever
Can you
since we've
believe
been
this
doing
is
this,
episode 6?
I
This is
can't. No.
episode 6.
It's
That's
insane.
fucking wild.
Well, and honestly, it would be episode 7 if you include the Game of the Year
yeah.
one that just got
Yep.
uploaded today, which this episode won't. We're recording on a Friday. It's going to upload on a Sunday, but So
Beautiful.
the game of the year one,
Beautiful.
just So I think we're actually already on 7, and then maybe 8 if you want to include the Xbox thing we did.
That
So
little Xbox thing.
it's crazy.
Russell, have you done any more on with Fallout 76? Did you play any of that this week?
I don't think I did. No.
I burned myself out with that the last event trying to get that fucking butter churn. I didn't get it. So I'm pissed. I'm pissed that I didn't get it.
I have a question in
Yeah.
regards to Fallout 76. Have you signed up for the Fallout First subscription service they've got, or no?
Yes. So
Is it worth it?
For me, it is. So you get a whole bunch of atoms to buy stuff from the shop. I think you get like 2,000 atoms, which is quite a lot. And then the biggest thing is you get a scrap box. Are you just losing yourself? Are you all right there, Nathan?
So I'm sorry. I'm like, you gotta understand. I'm from West Virginia, all right. I haven't played Fallout 76, and you sitting there talking about I still haven't fucking unlocked that butter churn yet.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, legitimately, I have family members with butter churns, like old style butter churns in their house. Like, it's just a natural aesthetic that a lot of people have. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like hopefully in this game you can like find moonshine and that like ups your health points by 100.
Oh no, I got my moonshine setup going.
You gotta have moonshine. You gotta have pepperoni rolls.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's...
I got my dog food machine making dog food for me. Mate, I'm set. I am set. But back to that Fallout First. I think the biggest thing is that scrap box. You get a box that you can keep, or like an unlimited scrap box, so you've got no weight limit to it. Because I think the thing with Fallout is everything revolves around weight. So
Yeah, it's
if
not
you've
just
got
Fallout, Bethesda in general, but
yeah, right. So you've got a scrap box that can hold like what 1,200 pounds.
Yeah,
and that fills up pretty quickly, especially if like you got some sort of weapon that weighs 20 pounds. You can only hold a few things. But yeah, so I won't be renewing my Fallout First next month. I'm gonna take a break from it. I feel like this last season has been pretty shit, to be honest.
Really?
The rewards and the it's starting to feel like a chore.
yeah.
see,
That's
for
not what
me,
you
I
want.
don't really pay attention to the season stuff. I just
Yeah.
wait for the content drops, and then
Yeah.
I run and go through that, and then I'll screw around a little bit with some events and whatnot, and then when I get bored of that, I just wait for another content
Yeah.
drop usually.
Yeah.
I'm basically playing it as a single player game.
Yeah, same. I only ever join a team when I have to do that like daily operation thing. And then once I finish that, I'm out.
So
Speaking of teams, a couple weeks ago, a random Sunday, I joined a team to do something, and then I just sort of wandered off. And then by default, because everyone else left the server, I became team lead, and people kept joining, and they were doing events, but I was off completing the new content.
And you're just getting all the rewards for doing the things.
And
That's so good.
I got on Twitter and then I posted an apology, claiming that my teammate, sorry, but my teammates just weren't as interesting as the new content was, and that,
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
if they had a problem with it, I really didn't give a shit. So
Yeah, I'm the thing with Fallout, and I think we'll when we talk about Once Human, I'll talk about it a bit more. But the thing with Fallout that I love is all the crafting, building up my settlement. So the fact that this season hasn't given me anything cool for my settlement, it's nah, I don't want it.
you're
I'll
just
take
kind of checked out.
Yeah,
specifically on that?
I'll take a break for maybe a year,
Okay.
and pick it back up. So I picked it back up when I finished watching the show, and I've played it for the last like 2 months most days. So I reckon I'll finish this season pass thing. The season pass is free, so
Oh, I didn't know that.
but there's some stuff towards the end of the pass that looks pretty cool. Um, so I'll grab that stuff and then I think I'll tap out for a few seasons.
Okay.
See, I've got to do the Atlantic City content again.
Mm-hmm.
I just switched over. I was on Xbox for years, and then I switched to PC, and you can't carry your save over.
Oh, that's a
Um,
shame.
yeah, even though I own it on Xbox and I own it on the Microsoft Store, so you'd think I would be able to.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, the save doesn't carry over. So I started from scratch again a couple months ago.
oh, brutal.
Yeah, so luckily there's some back content I can redo
Mm-hmm.
to keep me coming back a little bit. But as soon as I get done with that, and then Wastelanders, of course, which is basically what made the game tolerable for me anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I was a day one buy. I got a physical Xbox version. I hated that game at launch. I thought
Yep.
it was boring and awful. It was the loneliest multiplayer I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
Well, and again, when it first came out, everyone was like full on with the PvP stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You'd just be running around at like really low level, and then some fucking idiot who was like level 100 will just come in and just destroy your settlement, fucking kill you, break all your shit. It's like, this isn't fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you'd be running around at like level 8 or 10, and even if you were just on someone's team or something, because they're like level 150, what you're fighting is a level 150, and it just fucking floors you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wastelanders was the update that fixed that, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It just wasn't fun. The nuclear winter stuff was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Probably better they took that stuff out, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, cool. And you haven't played it, have you, Nathan?
No,
Damn,
I
son.
haven't played it at all. And
That's-
that was kind of the thing I was thinking about when you guys were talking about it being on its release, right? Because, like, I was working at Amazon at the time in a warehouse, and a lot of the people I worked with were, like, super hyped for it. I had a buddy who had gotten, like, the collector's edition and stuff. And, yeah, so pretty much there was all this hype surrounding it. And I can't remember what the hell I was doing at the time. I don't know if I didn't have money or what it was that I didn't get it. And then I just saw just how badly it was being received. And I think the biggest, now 9 times out of 10, I'm going to sit there and be like, I'm going to check it out for myself. But in this scenario, I was specifically excited for the West Virginia stuff. I was excited for the West Virginia story part of it. So then to find out that I was like, there's 0 NPCs. There's like 0 story. I'm like, that's kind of what had me out, unfortunately. But I know they've added a lot. It sounds really awesome. I would love to check it out at this point. But I think at this point, I'm going to do one of 2 things. So I'm kind of in the same boat as you because, like, I jumped into Fallout 4 hard when the show came out. Like, it's very rare that I go back to an old game and get into it as much as I got into it, because I put in like 40 hours this year, I think, into Fallout 4. And I still got a lot to do, but I did like most of the DLC stuff. I think Nuka Cola World was the only DLC I didn't get to. So I got that to do. And then
Nuka World's not great anyway.
It was,
in my opinion,
I was so psyched for that DLC, and I couldn't even. I remember the atmosphere being awesome, but I just remember the story letting me down. But anyways, so I'm still got some stuff to do. So I put it down. I moved it onto my external hard drive, and I'm like, I'll probably get back to this when the show comes out. But honestly, ever since then, I've been hearing so much from you about Fallout 76. I've been hearing stuff on other podcasts about Fallout 76 and how awesome it is. And I'm like, you know what? When Season 2 rolls around, maybe that will be the time to jump in, unless there's going to be like a New Vegas remaster, which that would be cool.
It, like Russell said, like it's a multiplayer game,
Yeah.
but I play it solo. I
Yeah.
don't. When it first came out, me and another mate who we were both like real into Fallout. We
Yeah.
both played it, and I dropped off before he did. He
Yeah.
carried on playing it for a while. We talked about picking it back up again. I did. He didn't. Um, and yeah, so like honestly, I'm not as much as we say we love it. I'm not really sure that you're missing much
Yeah.
by not playing it. Like it's it's in the world of Fallout, but it's not Fallout.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like
Yeah. No, I could see.
Yeah.
I've played a tiny bit of Elder Scrolls Online to know what you mean.
Mhm.
Like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like this is the same world, but it doesn't feel the same. If that makes like it's
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
soul of it isn't there.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I'm just,
exactly.
I never had that attachment to Elder Scrolls Online, but anytime I hear somebody talk about like the people who did really get into Elder Scrolls Online, I'm like, man, this sounds sick. Like this sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
get into it, but
I know what you
every
mean.
time I crack it open, I'm just like, I can't do this. And that's coming from a guy who's freaking played Skyrim 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just now realizing. Bethesda
Did you play
games are-
Skyrim with the Kinect? Did you ever play Skyrim with the Kinect?
Oh my gosh! I
Screaming
didn't.
at the TV. God, that was fun. You could.
No.
That was so good. Like they brought out. I don't know if it. I don't think it was part of the original game, but they brought out like an update,
Yeah.
and you could scream the shouts at the TV, and you would do it.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
so cool.
That's awesome.
It was so cool. Yeah.
Yes, I never did that. Dude,
Yeah.
I did. I about made a video the other day and shared it on social media. I was thinking about the saw that Hawk Tuah girl, and I
yeah.
was like,
Oh,
sounds like
God.
a dragon shout. I was just like, Hawk Tuah girl confirmed
Yeah.
to be Dragonborn. Hawk Tuah.
That would be really fucking funny.
That's so good. That is
And
so
Maybe I'll
good.
just
You
clip
better,
this out.
yeah, you better jump on that, mate. Yeah.
And I could totally, with the way some Bethesda fans are, and some of the, you know what I have been doing in the last week? I started modding Fallout 3 actually on Sunday.
Oh
I've been
wow.
having fun with
Really?
that too.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
cool.
Yeah, I had to get rid of the. They have like, for lack of a better word, like armor mods and stuff, and I basically
Yep.
turned into Spider-Man and was running around killing stormtroopers. But
Fun.
I found out if you go to Little Lamplight with clothing mods that like the game randomly crashes, so I had to shut all that crap off. But
Right. Yeah.
Dude-
Fun.
Dude.
Yeah. I've got one achievement left to get with Fallout 76.
Oh,
and
really?
I have to. Yeah. I don't know why they did this, but there's a part of the story where you need to make a decision, and you get an achievement for making one decision or the other. And so I made the one decision, and now to get that final achievement, I have to make a whole new character and go through all of it again.
You know,
And
that
For
sounds
for a
stupid.
for a multiplayer game, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. I can tell you right now, I am not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
made a new
I-
character, and I got him to like level 5, and I was like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, the achievement sounds like a typical Bethesda achievement. However, like you
Yep.
said, it's like this isn't a normal Bethesda game, so maybe
No,
don't have the
no.
same old achievements in it. Yeah, that one
Yeah,
doesn't. Feel
every
like
other
it was
achievement
well
was
thought
just
out.
playing. Yeah, every other achievement was just playing, doing things.
Yeah.
But then this final one was like it's either side with the raiders or side with the settlers, and
Yeah.
so you side with one or the other, and then you get that achievement, and then you have to get the last one.
Yeah, that's
No.
lame. I mean,
No,
especially with
no.
that situation, just go ahead and make it like you chose
Yeah.
the ending, like it's a blanket like achievement for
Yeah.
just hitting that milestone.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
it when, I mean, I wouldn't say I hate it, especially with games like Elden Ring. It's like then you got to like figure out how to cheese it, and then you can like if you cheese it, then it
Yeah,
looks like, you
save
played it 100
manipulation
times.
and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. I did that with like all the Fallouts. Like I made saves at certain points,
Mhm. Yep.
and then go back and like try the other way.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to. And that's
Yeah.
actually I liked Fallout 4 for what it was, but I definitely didn't the one criticism I have of Fallout 4 and the one reason I like the Far Harbor DLC is I didn't really feel like any of the choices mattered in Fallout
No.
4
No.
until the Far Harbor DLC. And then
Yeah.
it felt like Oblivion or Fallout 3 or New Vegas or I know
That
New
was
Vegas technically not a Bethesda game, but
that was the one with the synths, wasn't it?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was the
Yep.
yeah.
That was
That was
what
Fallout
cool.
4,
That
I'm.
was
yeah.
I'm very fresh on that
yeah.
DLC. It was
Yeah.
really cool. You've got a good point. I never thought about like just the comparison between those two deals, the two stories between the main story and that. And you're not wrong. Like it does feel like your choices it really do impact the whole area, as opposed to
Yeah.
Fallout 4. It's more. I mean, I feel like the only thing that really is impactful is what happens to the Brotherhood of Steel. Am I wrong?
Mm.
No, I'd say you're right there.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of like because I got all the achievements in Fallout 4 on the week that it came out, and I took vacation. All right, I took
Yeah.
it was
I
like
put some time into
yes,
that.
yes. I do like if she did not know, like it was when me and my wife were like I don't think we had just gotten engaged because I think we got engaged on November 11th and Fallout 4 came out like a week after. So if she
Yeah.
was not aware of just how nerdy I was, she was aware at that moment because then she came over and she's like, "Oh, you're on vacation. We'll spend so much time together." I was like, "Yeah, so if you come over, like, you can hang out with me, but I'm really busy."
But I'm gonna be playing. Yeah.
And she,
Yeah.
I
know.
was like, look, I had planned this vacation out. I was like, this is my.
Oh, that's
I was like, I'm
funny.
gonna spend time.
Yeah.
I spent time with her. I wasn't an asshole, but I.
She knew what she was getting into.
But yeah,
right?
yeah, she's like, that's
Right.
okay. She's like, I'll just come and hang out with you while you're playing. So like, yeah, no, I got all the achievements in a week. And that was the only way I was getting that done was doing the whole manual save, going back, and so then there was like I waited until I finished the game because I don't like doing the whole entire thing as I play. I'm reverting saves. I'm like saving and naming. Like I just kind of have a mental image of like, okay, that's the point. I'm glad that like your saved files always like take a screenshot of where you're at because that's how I refer back to what area I was in, what I was doing at that time.
Definitely.
That's how I did it with Baldur's Gate as well. But I didn't get all the achievements in that game, but you know what I mean.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't really remember there being that crazy amount of a difference with all the endings. Other than I felt like there was one ending where the Brotherhood of Steel was just completely gone. Like they were just wiped.
Yeah. I love that ending.
Yeah.
That's the one that like. That was my favorite one because he
Really?
got to take his coat.
Yeah.
That old mate was wearing that sweet coat,
Yeah.
and so I was like, yeah, you're dead. I want that coat, and I'm gonna wipe out the Brotherhood to get that coat.
Dude, that's what I did with Starfield. As soon as I jumped in, the first guy you see who's like, I'm a bounty hunter, come to kill you. And then I'm like, I like your suit. You're about to die.
Yeah.
And then I killed him and I
one
couldn't
of you-
take his suit. I don't know what was up with that.
Oh,
Have either one of you gone back to Starfield in the last month or two since they added mods and stuff?
oh my god, I want to
I
so
do want
badly,
to,
dude.
yes.
I haven't even finished the vanilla game.
There is something to be said about wandering around in Boba Fett armor.
Oh,
being a
I
bounty
saw
hunter
your
in that
screenshot on
game.
Twitter. That
Yeah.
that looks really sick.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I again hot take, I guess. I liked Starfield last year. I liked Vanilla Starfield. The mods
I did
have
too.
kind of. The one thing I'll say about Starfield is I did a lot of things, and then I beat the game, and I went through Unity. And if you don't know what that does, I'm not going to spoil it for you. But I went through Unity, and then as soon as I did that, like I didn't feel the need to keep going for
Right.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I had that issue a little bit with Fallout 4 too, as where with like Fallout 3 and Oblivion and Morrowind, I kept like every time I beat it, like I kept wanting to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for some reason with Fallout 4, it's probably the whole choice thing. I didn't feel like there was much there, and there is a lot of that with Starfield. There is kind of choice and consequences. But as much as I like Starfield, they really screwed up the exploration by just having a million fucking planets on it, and
Yeah.
a lot of which don't really have anything to speak of on them.
Right.
So that actually leads to a bigger question. This is something that is on my mind often, and it comes like decision making in games. Are we for it? Are we against it? Because personally, the older I get and the more games I play, the more I'm against it, because I'm just like, not every single game needs to have like all these multiple endings, multiple choices. My choices really matter, because honestly, sometimes not every time, but sometimes a game really loses me when they're like, the choices matter, make choices that matter. I'm like, to me,
Why?
it's like, because I feel like there's just some developers that just, you got to do it right. You can't fuck that up. Like,
No.
it's a lot easier for anybody to sit there and make out one story that is good, that is solid, rather than, all right, we've got to make multiple choice endings. They've all got to be equally good. And what are the decisions that are going to lead to those endings? Because here's my thing. It's like Baldur's Gate 3, right? It's an amazing game. If you asked me objectively what I think of that game, I would say objectively it is a 10 out of 10. My experience with it was like a 5, 6 out of 10. That's just my experience. It's not a testament to the game, and it was really upsetting for me, because I'm like, this game has the makings of everything to be my all-time favorite. Like, I mean, again, I'm the Mass Effect Dragon Age dude. Baldur's Gate is just the modern Dragon Age. So why wouldn't I love this game as like my favorite game of all time? Well, I just simply didn't, because it was like, well, I honestly, this could go into a much longer rant, so I'm going to try and keep the train on the tracks. But like, dude, like, I just
we went
really
off the rails a while ago.
Oh yeah, but like,
right.
my issue was the combat. You know, I understood it. It wasn't a problem of understanding. It was a problem of in the very first get go. When there's like a battle scene, like, or at least I had a battle scene at the beginning of the game in Act 1, and dude, there was one goblin. It got so fucking bad. I was stuck on this fucking level. It was just this one encounter. Dude, I still get worked up thinking about it. Like, it was just this one encounter. I spent from 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on this exact same battle over and over and over.
Why? I've never played it, so I
It's like, okay, so like the way it works is you take this guy and you say, all right, it's this character's turn to go. And here's your list of abilities. What abilities do you want to use? He can only move so far. Move him here, and then have him use this move to hit this person. And it's a very strategy-based game. And I love strategy-based games. You're talking to Mr. Halo Wars guy here. You're talking to Battle for Middle-earth 2. You're talking to StarCraft 2 guy. I love these types of games. Dragon Age, love it. But like, dude, in this game, I'm like, it is all chance. If I choose to hit this goblin and attack this goblin, there is zero guarantee that I'm going to do damage. And at one point, it got so bad that I'm like, fuck this. I turned it all the way down to the lowest difficulty. Even at the lowest difficulty, 4 times. All right, it took all 4 of my characters focusing on one level 1 goblin. I'm like level 5 or level 6. One level 1 goblin who, if I could get him to blow up, he would have like caused a chain reaction and caused like all these explosions and would have like done some massive damage. So I just keep reloading a save, trying to blow up this one level 1 goblin.
My goodness.
It took 2 turns. So basically I hit him 8 times with my characters. miss. I'm like, what am I fucking doing wrong? I'm like doing all this research online. Again, 7:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. I'm doing research. I'm fucking doing the work, and I still can't fucking figure this shit out. Like, every time I keep going to hit people, and even the more I kept playing it, I'm like, what is wrong with like my accuracy on my characters? And then like I saw on some forums where people were like, oh yeah, Shadowheart, she's always misses. She's not very good at hit. And like I got it to a point where some of my characters were doing a little better. But anyways, we're not talking about the combat of Baldur's Gate. We're talking about the choices, right? So like the choices of it is let's see, I put 150, 160 hours into the game, right? So like my choices end up leading me to a bad ending, and it soils my entire 160 hour experience. Now, I'm not, you got to take the good with the bad, right? Like, I'm not saying that makes it a bad experience. I'm just saying, like, that is a con. And even a game such as Baldur's Gate, which is a 10 out of 10 objectively by most people, can still be a very bad experience for you because of the choice factor. So that's kind of my gripe with choice related games. So it's like, if you are a smaller studio just starting out, making a smaller game, and you're trying to punch above your weight, and you say, I'm going to make a choice-based game, I'm immediately assuming this is not going to be the best experience, and just because of that. I mean, even The Witcher 3, that's actually another really great example. I hated that game at first. It's in my top 3 now. It's probably my 3rd favorite game of all time. However, the first time I played it, I got the worst possible ending. And when I tell you I was livid when it happened, then I was, oh my gosh. I don't know. Do you know what happens in the bad ending of that game?
Dude, it was so long ago. I don't think I do.
So in the
Is that the one that Siri? Something happens to Siri, right?
Pretty much. Like, Siri, like, walks off, and she's like, screw you, I don't care about you anymore. So she walks off, and then she dies. And then in his sorrow, he just walks into this swamp and basically just puts down his sword and lets these monsters kill him. And I'm like, I just spent 100 hours plus. Yeah, 100 hours plus to get that ending. And then when I Googled, what were the reasons? What were the choices I made that led to this bad ending? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Dude, one of the choices...
Something to do with the Red Baron, and you had to...
See, the Red Baron one makes sense. The Red Baron one makes sense. There's a couple other ones that make sense. But there was 2 choices that I'm like, that's bullshit. One choice was have a snowball fight. You need to choose to have a snowball fight. And then another one was you need to choose to trash an apartment or trash this library with Siri. So basically just be like, which at the time when I was playing, I was like, it didn't feel in character.
Russell.
I don't know.
No, I'm still here.
Okay. It didn't feel like it was in character for Geralt to do that, so I didn't make those decisions. But then I'm like reading this, I'm like, oh wait, no, like you're supposed to have a snowball fight. You're supposed to torch a library, and it's like those were the reasons that led to death. Everybody died. Like, so yeah. Anyways, that's my gripe with, you know, the story. Oh, okay. One more thing, and I'm gonna shut up about this. But like I said, I think about this a lot. Like I get like
I can tell. I
think about this, and I think about what's the other thing I think about? Anyways, I'm gonna stay on track. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. When I was watching the E3 press conference for it, and they were like, hey, it's going to have this, it's going to have that, it's going to have this. And then they were like, and you get to choose between a guy and a girl. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I was like, I was checking out. Yeah, I was like, more decisions. I was like, you're going to tell me there's a right and a wrong path. And guess what? The most common thing I heard when that game came out, who'd you choose to play as? I chose Alexios. I was like, I just typically am. Like, it just felt like he's the guy on the cover of the game. I'm like, I'll just pick Alexios. No, I chose poorly. Like, dude, everybody I talked to was like, wow, Cassandra did a really, really good job voice acting. How could you even play the game as not Cassandra? I'm just like, that's all I ever heard. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, and it's like
It just
basically sullied my experience from the game because I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't have as good of a time as everybody else. And not to mention, it kind of I feel that it threw a wrench into the overall storytelling of the series because now it's like there's no objectively one path of the way events went down. It's like
yeah.
I look back to Assassin's Creed 4, Assassin's Creed Rogue, and Assassin's Creed Unity. All three of those games link together in different
Yeah.
narrative driven ways. You can't
Yeah.
do that with the new series. And now I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying like
Yeah.
that does disable you from being able to do cool narrative things.
Yeah.
It's like in order to open the window of all these narrative choices, you got to like close another big window, and I preferred that window, like personally.
Well, they did it with
Oh no, did we lose Fraser?
two characters.
Wait, hold on, I'm losing you. Uh-oh.
Hello?
Can you... Okay, I got you, Russell. It's just Fraser we lost. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Oh no. Yep, I can hear.
Okay.
I can hear
Okay.
Fraser just fine, so
I think we're good. I think I was the one that was losing connection from you guys. I lost you right at the beginning, so it wasn't anything stuttered.
Yeah. So like, what
Damn it! Oh, man.
is during that?
Okay. All right. We'll try again.
Man, I don't know what's the London Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Yes.
They did that, the choices in that well,
They
where
really did.
it didn't affect the story. The story was still the same, but you could be Jacob or Evie. And I believe that's what they're doing with this new one as well. Like, yeah, I agree with what you're saying about like Odyssey, like how the story changes depending on what character you are. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to feel like I haven't played the best edition.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah,
absolutely.
the choices thing, it's so overdone now.
Yes.
It is so overdone. Like
I will agree with you to a point. I think that a lot of games put choices in, and you have choices to like say other things to characters, but it doesn't really lead you down like an alternative path.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
those choices, put in air quotes there, really kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
I would prefer more games done well, like New Vegas, where like if someone's just irritating you, you can kill them, and you might fail a side mission or whatever. But
Yeah.
fuck you, I'm gonna throw you off a cliff because you irritated me. But again, it needs done well, in my opinion. So,
because like the first experience I ever got with choices was like Fable. That was the first time where I was like, what do you mean I have to make a choice? And then you're like, well, what do I choose? I don't know. And then you just choose one and you have to roll with it.
Yeah.
And then like those Star Wars games came in with the light side and the dark side choices, and then Mass Effect with the Renegade. Like when the choice has a significant following up from it, I think I like it. But yeah, like Russell said, the pointless choices, that I don't know, it's just overdone.
Yeah.
I'm finding that I'm enjoying these linear, shorter, well-written stories now than the massive, bloated, decision-heavy, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'd much rather spend 4 hours with a story and be done with it. Not be done with it, but like and enjoy this well-rounded out story than spend 100 hours choosing who to like. I don't know. Maybe that's just where I'm at gaming at the moment.
Right. You actually reminded me of what I lost my train of thought on the other thing that I always think on as well. Like I think of it equally as much as the decision making is the open world aspect of games where just like decision making, like every developer feels like they need to add decision making. It feels like everybody's like, oh, everything has to be open world. If we say that it's open world, then it's an automatic seller. And it's like I disagree. Honestly, I might be a little too harsh on that because if you I think we lost Russell.
Yeah, we just lost Russell. Man, we're having some technical difficulties today, aren't we?
Yeah. I'm gonna pause the stream real quick.
Does that mess up the...
I started the recording back because as long as the boxes are filled, which whenever the boxes aren't filled and like everything's out of wonk, like I'm just like, okay, yeah, see, there we go. Okay. Yeah.
Apparently don't fuck with that setting. Anyway. Sorry, I was just kind of poking around in settings and then all of a sudden I was like, oh fuck. So don't do that.
I'm gone.
No, but about the open world thing, it's like I think the thing where I get a little bit extreme on it is definitely when it comes to games like God of War Ragnarok. Where, you know, again, another game where I think most people agree that it is an objectively really great game. I just don't know if it was necessary to have the open world parts of it. A lot of people praised it for the fact of like, and I will praise it as well when it comes to walking around in the open world and having Mimir's head on your belt, and there's this great dialogue all through it. However, I'm sitting there just like, you know, if this was an action adventure game, you would tell me the things you want to say during specific moments where I'm just simply walking through caverns rather than going in this open world experience, right? And now it's cool. You got the freedom. You can go here, do there. You go on a collectathon. Oh, yippee. You know, that's my favorite thing. And, and then I'm like searching for these collectibles, right? But like you hop on your sled. Now I know you haven't played it, Fraser, because you don't have a PlayStation, right? So like you hop on your sled, right? Your dog sled, and you're going to whatever next dungeon you got to go find, whatever next collectible you got to go find. And Mimir's talking to you as you're doing this, right? And then you get off your sled and he's like, we'll talk about this later. Like mid-sentence, he'll just be like, we'll talk about this later. And then you go, you do your collectible, hop back on the sled, and he's like, where was I? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't remember what you were saying. And like, then it's just like, and I could tell that these stories were really interesting. Sometimes I'd get really into them. The other half of the time, I would be like, I can't keep track of how many times I'm getting off the sled and where you left off at. And I just feel like, you know, the decision to make it open world bogged down the storytelling that Mimir was saying. And I was far more interested in what Mimir was saying than the collectathon that I was going on. A lot of games do that.
But then you'd have to stop to get off, and it's annoying.
Yeah. I'm not looking to just stand there on a sled and listen to Mimir's head talk. I'm not going to do that either.
I do think there's an overabundance of open worlds these days. Like two of my favorite game series of all time are Resident Evil, which is about as linear as you can get. And then I love God of War, love 2018, haven't played Ragnarok, looking forward to the PC port. But the first three God of Wars, I think, are better than even 2018 was, in my opinion. And they're about as linear as you can get to.
Yeah.
So, It just depends on the game and the developer. There are definitely some devs that like just make open worlds, and you're like, why'd you do this? There's nothing here. There's nothing to do. So why the hell did you do this? Ubisoft has, in my opinion, taken some rightful criticism there. It seems like they're toning it back a little bit now, but it seemed like every one of their Assassin's Creed games just kept getting bigger for no reason. And I kind of feel like, as much as I like Starfield definitely was way too big for its own good. But that's another topic for another day. But I think it was too big and too ambitious for that engine too. But
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So we've listened to what Russell was playing this week. Oh, yeah, that got real out of control. I love it.
I do too, man. I mean, that's my favorite thing about
there's
doing this.
derailed. Yeah, there's derailed, and then there's whatever the hell we just did.
Yeah, right. They cleaned up the mess, and then we fell over again. That's
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh
Dude.
man.
So I've played nothing this week. So I still played a little bit of Destiny last Sunday. So I've cleaned up the story there. And what's funny is the last time let's see, we recorded on Tuesday or Wednesday. So if you've heard the Game of the Year discussion, you're caught up to speed. I played the final mission of the final shape, and it was phenomenal. It was so good. I still really, really want to get caught up. I want to get my light level up. I am determined to try to get all the achievements, especially since it's like once I get them all I have to do is turn the game on all the consoles, and I will have my first game that is platinumed across all platforms. And that's the dream,
That's what you want.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
And I also we talked about it the other day. I really want to do the campaign on Legendary. I don't know when we'll find the time, but if we get the chance, like I really want to do that, so we can get the little medal you can buy off their site, claiming that you.
I want that too, man. Yeah.
But honestly, what I've been up to is far less interesting than what Fraser's been up to.
Oh, dude,
I'm so
I
excited
have
to hear
played
about this.
so much this week. I feel like I've got a full-time job as well, and I don't know where I found the time. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah.
I first off, I finished Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
And my goodness, it was fantastic.
All right.
I loved it so much. Granted, I didn't play it. I played it on easy.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't. It wasn't a slog fest like it probably should have been. But I loved filling up the cantina of people.
Mm-hmm.
And going back and talking to them, hunting down the bounty hunters that are after you.
Yep.
They filled up the world with just enough for me to be like, oh, cool. I'll go and do this while I'm doing this. And it didn't feel overwhelming of God, what have I got next? Yeah. What do I have to do here? What's this bit? The story was brilliant. I'm a Star Wars nerd, and really, they have to do something pretty drastic for me to not enjoy it. I'm enjoying the Ahsoka show. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying the Acolyte. Sure, they're not great, but they're not as bad as what people think. The only one that I don't like is the Phantom Menace. That's the only kind of Star Wars content that I'm like, this is pretty bad. Even the new trilogy, I love them. I think they're so much fun.
Yeah,
so much fun.
So I would be curious. I would be curious. What did the Phantom Menace do that was so bad that you detest? Well, not detest, but dislike that.
Dude, it's
more
the acting.
Than anything else.
The acting is just fucking terrible. Young Anakin Skywalker, terrible. Jar Jar Binks, terrible.
I liked Phantom Menace a lot more than the Clone Wars.
Right.
Oh,
so
really?
I thought Clone Wars was boring, but
I loved that them diving into the Stormtrooper army.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was cool, and seeing Jake the Muss, Boba Fett, not Boba Fett, sorry, Jango Fett.
Yep.
The character, the actor who plays him, Tiawa Morrison, is a New Zealand actor.
Oh, is he really?
I grew up with him on the local, I guess you'd call it the ER of New Zealand. It was called Shortland Street.
Okay.
And it was about doctors and all the drama that they have.
Okay.
And he was in that. And just to see when the boy opens up the door and they're like, oh, is your father home? And he's like, oh, nah, he's busy, eh? And it's that is brilliant. That is just, I just loved it.
And not to mention the fact that they started using him as Boba Fett, and it really is.
Yeah. he's a staple in New Zealand, and then there's a very, very intense movie called Once Were Warriors, and it's about domestic violence in New Zealand, and
Really?
it is fucking heavy, and he's the main character in that, and it's such a brilliant movie,
Yeah.
but it's fucking heavy. But yeah, just to see him, just the Boba Fett show and all that. Oh, so
Yeah.
good. But anyway, I go off the rails like we always do.
No,
Back
hey,
to Survivor.
yeah, I mean, well, I never, I love to hear your Star Wars background before you get into talking about this game. So
Yeah.
it's kind of nice to know because
So
I know most of the people that I've talked to about Jedi Survivor, they don't watch Star Wars or like it, but they still like
wow,
Survivor. So it's
Yeah.
nice to hear it
Yeah.
come from a Star Wars fan. Also, a level-minded Star Wars fan is what I would like to describe you as. You just enjoy Star Wars. You don't like.
I just enjoy Star Wars. It's just fun.
It's just the original trilogy. It's just the prequels. No, it's just Star Wars. All of it's Star Wars. It's all about
Star
the
Wars.
same.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Isn't there a joke that the people that hate Star Wars the most are Star Wars fans?
Yeah.
So I guess we're not
so
real
good.
Star Wars fans.
No.
Yeah.
And then just being able to customize Cal was fun.
Oh, right.
I had him with this dirty mullet and this like handlebar mustache, and he looked brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And then I really liked how the different outfits, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the different outfits, BD1 would interact with the outfits differently.
Yeah.
So there was one particular outfit that had like a little bag on your back, and he would get in the bag as opposed to standing on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Like just little things like that were just so cool. And the heavy stance with that lightsaber.
Yeah.
Wow. Like they dove into the fact that yeah, you're a Jedi, but you are still trying to survive. You're using anything that's around you to survive. So when he gets the blaster and Jedis don't use blasters. Well, do you know what? I do.
Yeah. Yep.
And it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
If
follow
I
the
have
rules,
to use
yeah.
a blaster, I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
Brilliant. And the twist. Oh, my heart was ripped from my body
Oh.
when you're betrayed. And I was just like, no,
Yep.
what is happening?
Yep. Yep. And that the death scene when a certain character dies. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That scene alone was the reason I voted for him as actor of the year last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It was so good. And then what was the last bit that I was just about to say but I can't remember. Oh, Cal's internal struggle with the dark side and how they betrayed that was fucking like
Dude.
you walk out of Bode's room and there's all those stormtroopers there.
Yep.
And then you just channel your inner rage and you just
Yep.
oh, it was just so good. It was. I know it's an older game now, and it's been sitting on my pile for a long time, and I'm so happy that I played it.
Yeah.
In fact, like it was so good that I'll play it if there's another one. I'll play that day one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I will.
So I want to jump in on the part where you said we're talking about the moment where he walks out of Bode's room, right? Because it's probably it's probably my favorite thing about that game, and my favorite moment from the story was that scene when you messaged me. You're like, I'm pretty sure like they're gonna see through my disguise. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. But like that ending of that chapter had me very emotional because I related to that scene so much, because it's like you see that struggle between light and dark, right? Like, we've all been there. We're all human, right? And he has this moment of like losing his temper, and I fully fully expected him to look over at Marin and her be like, "I don't know you anymore, Anakin," and you've gone to the dark side, and now I can't love you, and like for them to have this moment of like he looks over at her and she just like she calms him down, like she was his peace in that moment, and the fact that like then they go back to the ship and she's like, we're gonna figure this out together, we're gonna work on it, and like dude, it had me so I'm I'm getting choked up.
Right,
I'm getting choked up just thinking about it, but
so
it's crazy.
I played the first one, Jedi Outcast. I played it and I enjoyed it, but for whatever reason I didn't play Survivor day one.
You're thinking of Fallen
maybe
Order.
It was is that what it was called?
Yeah, Outcast.
What did I call it?
You called it Outcast. I'm pretty sure that's like a old original Xbox game. Hold on, let me see.
Love it. Jedi. So what's it called? Jedi.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Yeah. So like when I played that, I enjoyed it. So I don't know why I didn't play this one day one, but for whatever reason I didn't.
Yeah, you're thinking of that one. I don't know if you can see my phone.
Oh yeah.
That's the one you're
I can
thinking
see
of.
that was I purchased that on Switch a few while back. It's shit now. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I think they did like a package of a bunch of old Star Wars games, and no good.
Yeah, I got it on Steam, but I just haven't kicked it on. I haven't turned it on since I mean I haven't played that game since I was like 12. But you know, and then another thing that I love talking about when we talk about Jedi Survivor, right, is the very end. No spoilers, but to kind of go hand in hand with that scene was the fact that he dealt with that internal struggle of light and dark again, and he was about ready to make a decision on whether or not he should kill someone. And there's this moment where you see he's going to do it out of anger. And then he looks over at her name's Marin, right? I'm not fucking that up, am I?
Yeah, Marin. And then the girl's Carter.
Yep. He looks over at them, centers himself, and then does what he's got to do.
Pulls the trigger.
Yep.
And you're just like,
that gave me fucking chills, man.
Dude, it was so good.
I
was on my thing just like smashing the screenshot button. I was like, go on, get it.
So
He's just standing over him. It's almost like from that scene with, I don't know if you've seen Reservoir Dogs.
No.
And he's like standing over him with the gun.
Huh.
It's like a Quentin Tarantino film. It's so good.
Yes, it did remind me of that though, yeah.
Yeah. And so he's like standing over him with this blaster, and you're like, you're no Jedi.
Yeah.
But then you're like, actually, you're more than a Jedi now.
Yes.
Like you've succumbed like all the rules and all the things like, and they just like they played on the thing of like, do you know what? Maybe the Jedi were not so good.
Yes.
Like they were seen to be the peacekeepers, sure, but they did some pretty shady things.
Yeah.
And brilliant.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
that was my big takeaway this week.
Yeah.
Second one was I reviewed a little indie horror game called Scholar's Mate.
Okay.
Now this is essentially it's an escape room. So it's set in an asylum, and you have to solve puzzles to escape.
Okay.
But you can't solve a puzzle until you've solved the previous puzzle.
Okay.
So it's like you solve that puzzle, you move on to the next one, and then about a quarter of the way through, this like his name's Eddie. I don't know why the fuck they called him that. It's not a scary name, but he's like the warden, and he starts patrolling the asylum, and you can't fight him. You can only run. So you have to solve these puzzles with him walking around, and you have to hide from him. And the way they've done it is with the audio. You can hear him coming. So you're solving this puzzle, and then all of a sudden you hear this doop, 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 and you're like, oh my God. And you have to run and hide. It was about 2.5 hours long, maybe 3 hours. Really, really good. Very hard though. I found about halfway through, I had to look up a guide to kind of figure out what I was doing. I don't know if you guys do guides. Do do you do guides, Russell? Like, if you're stuck on something, do you do a guide?
Oh yeah.
I mean, so since I was a kid, the first strategy guide I ever owned was for Ocarina of Time. So
Yes.
yeah, I do
Yeah,
guides.
I
'Cause
do guides. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there was one, but
everyone that's like, oh, I don't use guides. I didn't use guides when I was a kid. Yeah, you fucking had Nintendo Power, you stupid bastard.
yeah, right.
And they were
Yeah,
guides, and you
yeah,
bought them, so fuck off with that. But
yeah,
yeah, if I'm stuck, I don't give a shit.
yeah. So about halfway through, I got stuck, and then the kind of the floodgate opened, and I used the guide for the rest of the game
Yeah.
because it was too hard.
Yeah.
It was the puzzles were so confusing
Mm-hmm.
that I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun game. It was fun. It was like 2.5 hours long.
Oh yeah, that's not too much. That's not demanding of your time.
Little indie game. You know, for I think it was like $8 or $9.
Yeah.
So it was worth it. I definitely got my money from it.
Okay.
It was fun.
That's super cool.
I've completely changed my tune on First Descendant. I
Yeah.
am on board. I'm at the front of the line.
Yeah.
It once you kind of reach maybe the second or third like boss, the training wheels come off, and
Oh.
you have to. I started dying a lot.
Oh,
You
really?
start having to figure out the different elemental things. You have to start modding your characters correctly. You have to like finding all the synergies of the different characters and how they work together. Like it's a lot more in depth than what I first kind of just thought. The start, it's just like shoot some stuff, move on. Shoot some more stuff, move on.
Yeah.
Wasn't very hard, but it's become difficult. I've actually reached a roadblock where it's a DPS dump now,
Okay.
where the boss has a health pool, and you just have to dump as much DPS into him as possible, and then he'll pop a shield, and you have to shoot these like little floating things, and they are recharging his health. So if you don't shoot them fast enough, he just goes back up to full health.
Okay.
And then it's just rinse and repeat, and you've only got a 10-minute timer, and then it's game over.
Oh.
So
okay, so you got to do it fast enough. You got to be doing enough damage to get through the mission.
yeah.
Okay.
And I joined random teams, and it just didn't happen for me.
Really?
I just saw the news today or yesterday. They hit 10 million players
Absolutely crazy.
in a week. Like
Nuts.
those are some massive numbers. But like I said to Dano, the hub world is full. It's full of people.
Really? Oh,
But
yeah.
when you get to missions, there's no one around. Like I don't understand where all these people are.
It has to be like an Australia network thing.
Yeah, right? Must be. It must be. Because I would say maybe a little bit less than half of my time I'm actually playing solo. Because I'm just not finding other people playing.
Now,
So
honestly, I don't think that's the worst thing, because a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing online surrounds the fact that, like, oh, well, actually, it's what do you call the system where it kind of if you got more than one person in there, it changes the boss's health to higher.
yeah.
The scaling.
Yeah,
The scaling.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scaling is really bad in the game. So I've
Okay.
seen a lot of people recommend that it's just better to solo it.
Right.
So you might be better off.
I find it hard solo.
Okay. Okay.
Again, it might just be the way I'm modded up, the way I'm set up. But yeah, I'm finding it very hard. I will say that I'm not sure it's going to be something that keeps me long term.
Yeah.
I am really enjoying it now, and I'm pushing my way through the story, and I'm feeling stronger and I'm feeling more powerful. But unless they do something drastic with it, I reckon I'll finish the story and that'll be enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, I know that it's a free to play game, but so they need to make their money somewhere. But like, not everything needs to be a live service thing.
Right.
Like Jeff and I were talking last week about Outriders. Did you play Outriders?
I played it just a tiny bit. I fell off pretty
Yeah.
quickly, pretty hard.
Yeah. So that was the perfect example. It's not a live service game,
Right.
but everyone wanted it to be.
Right.
So they're like, this is shit. This is not live service. But that's what I would love from the first Descendant. I don't need to have a farmable end game content.
Right.
Just give me a fun story. Let me level up. Let me feel stronger. Let me unlock some characters and be done with it.
Right. Yeah, see, I think that's a really good segue into what we've gathered here today for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
well, actually, let me ask you first before I get to talk about this. Do you guys want to segment this episode at this point? Like segment it into
It
a
might be
review,
wise, yeah.
review part, and then
might
like
be
what
wise.
we've talked up to this point? Okay. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
just do it that way. Let's see. Sorry, I'm kind of getting.
Because I know you usually have to take off for work. Do you work tonight?
Well,
or...
I actually got a text message while we were doing this, and I haven't really gotten a chance to look at it to see what's going on. I think he's asked me what's up. Like he said, okay, somebody called off, so I can work if I want to. So that was about like an hour ago. So I'll probably text him. So I don't know what's going on. My dispatch times are wild all over the place. Don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, like I think you're right. I think at this point probably just maybe keep this at about hour 20 minutes, hour 30 minutes, and then maybe just talk about Once Human for like 30 minutes as a separate thing. Yeah, well, all I was gonna say in regards to what you were talking about, Fraser, was the monetization of the First Descendant and how Once Human, I think it's like it doesn't get in the way. It's like a $20. From what I've heard, because I haven't been able to play it yet. What I've heard is it's like $20 for a costume, but there's no monetization that's gatekeeping you from being able to do stuff. And I don't think the First Descendant is necessarily that way, but it's still feels like you gotta
The First
work.
Descendant is really expensive.
Yeah.
The cosmetic stuff and the pay to win. It's not. It is pay to win. It's pay to not grind. Let's call it that.
Okay.
That's pay to win.
Yeah. So it is. It's very expensive. And again, like, is that worth it?
Right.
I'm finding the battle pass is very annoying. It's one of those challenge based battle passes, so I'm forced to jump in every day to finish some challenges to get the most out of the battle pass. It's not play heaps, earn experience, unlock stuff. It's done on challenges. So you have to jump in, you have to kill a certain amount of enemies with a pistol.
Right.
You have to use your powers a certain amount of times. You have to kill this enemy a certain amount of times. Like, I'm sick of that battle pass system.
Yeah.
That is yuck to me. Like, that starts feeling like a job.
Yeah.
If I have to pay for a battle pass, if I'm paying for a battle pass, I just want to be able to play the game. Kind of like Call of Duty, right? You jump in, you play, you earn experience. If you don't play for a week, that's fine. You're not missing out. You just earn more.
Yeah.
You play for 10 hours, you get a whole bunch of experience. But with this, you stop earning battle pass experience once you complete the 5 challenges for the day.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. So you can only do so much in a day with the First Descent. That's wild.
Yeah.
I see. It's funny that you bring
battle
up...
pass wise. Like everything else you could. Yeah.
Well, still, I just think like if you're going to pay money, you shouldn't be further gatekeeped from doing more. It's like they're forcing you to come back and play more, and I don't think that's a smart idea. Like, just now, I mean, I guess I could see where the thinking is. because I think back to Halo Infinite and how basically everybody blew through the battle pass like first month, and then after a month
Yeah.
of it being out, people were like, there's nothing to do. So I can see
Mm-hmm.
where they might be trying to get people to not like binge the game. But however, it's like, if I fucking paid money for this, don't tell me how to use it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
more on that
Yeah.
mindset, because as a consumer, I have to be on the side of consumers. You know, I'm not
Yes.
going to sit there and
Yep.
defend a money grabbing decision. Um, so yeah, that it's funny that you bring up Call of Duty as your example of something that's good, because I was going to say the opposite, because I
Yep. No.
last year, so I have something to confess. You know how I think last time I was we were talking about the game of the year discussion, we were talking about how September of last year was really busy time. We were like, wasn't enough time to play all these game of the year types of games, right? So
Yep.
I'm like sitting there struggling all summer long, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to tackle Starfield, Liza P, Mortal Kombat 1, and Baldur's Gate 3? Then there's, the other From Software game that I still haven't played that I really want to
Elden
play.
Ring.
No, not Elden Ring. Armored Core.
No.
Armored Core. Armored Core
Oh.
came out like
Yep.
a week before Starfield, right? So I'm like, how am
Yep.
I going to get to all these games? I really want to play all of them. I was like, I'm just going to have to break my rule of playing one game at a time and just kind of like bounce back and forth between all these different games. And those
Yep.
motherfuckers over from Call of Duty decide, hey, we're going to do a season based on Spawn. And let me tell you, I love Spawn. All right. I'm a sucker for some Spawn content. And when I
Yep.
was like, that was so out of left field. I'm like,
And they used all the voices too.
the voices. And I'm like, you're telling me there I can be Spawn with all these really cool guns with all these like green smoke effects. I'm like, so I ended up not playing all these Game of the Years to play
Oh
Call
my
of Duty
goodness.
again. I
I love that.
It was like I was playing mostly Call of Duty from the month of October through November. It took me
Yep.
like 50 hours of Call of
Yep.
Duty multiplayer, and so much of that was spent in shipment 24/7. So you can say that that's when I lost my sanity, and I've been trying to obtain it back ever since.
I think Call of Duty is everyone's guilty pleasure.
It really is.
Like me and a group of buddies, we got really into DMZ.
Yeah,
I don't know if you played that.
I
that
didn't.
DMZ
That was
mode.
one I didn't hop into. Oh wait, no,
It
no.
was-
You mean on Call of Duty? The
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
It was kind of part of the Warzone thing. Like,
Okay.
I don't play Warzone. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
I don't even pretend to be good at it. But the DMZ was like PvE VP,
Yeah.
and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. And then so we played that for ages, and so I was stuck on that. I didn't play anything.
Yeah.
I didn't play anything but that for months.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Cool, we're done with it. We're not going to support it anymore. We're not going to put any more time into it. We're not going to link any of the other Modern Warfare stuff to it." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's me done."
Yeah, I mean the same thing goes for the zombies mode from Modern Warfare 3. Like again last year I got burnt out after that 2-month run, like really hard burnout.
Yep.
So I didn't really
Yep.
play Modern Warfare 3, but the little bit that I did play was the zombies mode. Phenomenal. Like chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Like one of
Really?
the best
Yep.
things Call of Duty's done in a really long time. They quit
Yep.
support for it after like 4 or 5 months. So I wonder what their like level of like what is success to them. Is it everything has to be like huge millions blockbuster
Well,
numbers? I don't know.
it's almost like they're spreading themselves too thin.
Yeah.
Because every Call of Duty we get has zombies. It has a campaign and it has multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's 3 separate games essentially.
Yeah.
And this last one, Modern Warfare 3, sure, the campaign wasn't as good as previous ones, but it was still good. It was still enough to almost be its own thing.
Speaking of
Doesn't
open
have-
world.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Why do that? It just seemed it was almost like they were using it felt like they were using it as like a experiment to kind of see what they could do with the open world stuff. But yeah, like if they charged $15 for the campaign, I'd pay that.
Yeah.
I'd pay $15 to play a Call of Duty campaign. I don't play the multiplayer.
Oh, do you not?
I do. I'm not good at it.
Oh, okay.
And I'll play it with friends.
Okay.
Like I'd much prefer to play like DMZ, or zombies than the multiplayer side of it.
PvE type stuff.
The only multiplayer that I was any good at was Destiny 2.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. All the other every other multiplayer game, I am terrible
Yeah.
at it.
Even like
Absolutely
Halo
terrible.
and Gears of War and stuff.
Haven't played Gears of War multiplayer much.
Oh,
Halo,
okay.
yeah, I can play Halo.
Okay.
Definitely.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's actually sick. Russell, what about you?
Yeah,
Do you play much PvP stuff?
I play Halo Infinite sometimes with some friends. It's funny you guys were all like, "Oh, Call of Duty's everyone's guilty pleasure." I haven't played a Call of Duty since probably number 2.
Wow.
Wait, number 2
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2,
No,
Call of
Modern
Duty
Warfare
2.
2, 2007.
literally Call of Duty 2.
Yeah.
Oh
Literally
my
Call of
gosh.
Duty 2. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the last one I played was on PS2.
Wow. Yeah.
I got kind of excited for this year's because of the whole
Game Pass.
not to get like political or anything, but there was rumors it was going to revolve around 9/11 in the States, and just the idea that I lived that, I thought it would be really cool, and it apparently isn't going to be that. It sounds like it's going to be maybe more Cold War based or something. So my interest has waned a little bit. So unlike maybe some of you guys, I don't subscribe to Game Pass year round anymore. Like the only reason I have it right now is because Hellblade just came out. So if I have it when Call of Duty drops, I may try it. I'm as far as the release of Avowed goes, I'm probably buying that instead of just Game Passing it. But if the rumors are true, I don't know. Maybe when Avowed comes out, I'll change my mind and I'll Game Pass it. In which case, that would be around the time the new Call of Duty comes out, so I might fire it up. Who knows? But yeah, I'm not. I do some online multiplayer a little bit. Again with Halo. There's also a game on PC called BattleBit. That I mess around with.
Do you know that one? I don't know that.
I actually do know what you're talking about. I got friends who like cannot stop playing it. They're like, dude, you gotta buy it. You gotta buy it. And I missed it on the sale last week.
And yeah, BattleBit has servers with like 64 people in it.
Wow.
So like once you get into the shooting areas, like you will die a lot.
Okay.
Now keep in mind they're like old school like poly graphics. So like
it looks like Roblox.
That's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason they're able to get so many people in a server is saying it's not very demanding is a grotesque understatement.
Oh yeah,
Right,
no,
okay.
not at all. Like
Yeah.
to give you some reference, Fraser, the game looks like Roblox. It look like the characters look like Roblox and everything, but the actual gameplay of it, I watched my friends play it, and I'm like, this. I can see why everybody loves this because the gunplay is very solid, very smooth, and like because it's not a graphically demanding game, it's like it just runs like butter. It looked like a lot of fun to play. But I suck with mouse and keyboard, so you know.
Oh, so do I. I am struggling with Once Human.
Really?
Yeah, I can attest to that a little bit.
Yeah.
There is. I guess we'll talk more about it when we get to that. But there is controller support coming.
I hope so. That'll change my life. But yeah, like with the PvE stuff, I will happily play a PvE VP.
Okay.
I need to have something more than just PvP.
Yeah.
Have either of you played Hunt Showdown?
No, that was one that I really wanted to get to, and then
Yeah.
it just fell by the wayside. It
Yeah,
expired
like
in the
most
I
backlog
games.
for.
I literally have no idea what that is. So
So
Oh, really?
it's set in like the
Mm-hmm.
1800s New Orleans Bayou, and you are a monster hunter. And it is muskets, 6 shooters,
Mm-hmm.
swords, and it's an extraction shooter. So
Okay.
you load in, you're given a target, but you don't know where your target is.
Okay.
And you have to go to certain locations on the map to kind of get clues to figure out where this monster is.
Okay.
Everyone else, so there's like you get squads of 2 or 3 or solo, and I think there's 4 or 5 other squads as well, and they all have the same target. So
Yeah.
you might run into each other straight away, or you might never see each other, and it's very intense.
Yeah.
You can hear the musket blast from halfway across the map,
That's
and you're
awesome.
like, he's that way, and so everyone just runs that way. Or you can sit back and watch them fight the monster and take it down, and then you can run in and kill them. It's very fun, but it's one of those ones where if you haven't been playing it since day one, you're behind,
Yeah.
and you will forever be behind.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I felt that was
Yes.
part of the reason why I just never got around to it, because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to party up with somebody to play this, and then I saw but nobody I knew was playing it, and then when it was added to PlayStation Plus, I was like, or it was given away for free 1 month. Even then, I was
it
like,
was.
nobody's online, and I just already knew in my heart that was gonna be what type
Yeah.
of game it was. I'm like, yeah, I'm
There
just way
is
too far behind.
there is online matchmaking, but nobody talks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like pointless.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
that's the part that sucks about even playing any game online really nowadays, is because I mean nobody's gonna be really using a mic anymore. Not many people do, and when they
No.
do use a mic, just mute them
It's
because
just
they're so
nonsense
annoying.
bullshit that I
Yeah,
don't want to listen to.
yeah,
Yeah.
or some sweat who's being super racist.
Yeah.
Oh my
Again, I don't have
gosh.
time for that.
Dude,
My goodness.
seriously, like I'm sitting here to chill and have a good time. Like okay, listen, everybody's like Helldivers 2 is such a great community. Like the only time now, granted, I haven't played much of it, but like, dude, I had this really bad experience with this dude who was, of course, like using racial slurs and stuff, and like calling me some not nice things. And like, as soon as we hopped into the match, first thing he does, if anybody touches my guns, I'll kill you myself. And like, I'm like brand new to the game, right? So I'm like, I walked on a mine and I died and it killed both of us. And he's like, "You stupid fuck! Get away from me, you idiot!" Like, he didn't use idiot, but he was like,
that's not
"I'm
that's
just."
not fun.
I'm like, it's not fun because as soon as I hop back in, he starts shooting me. I'm like, all right, well, screw you. I'm going to shoot you. So then me and him just kept like having it out and shooting each other. I'm like, dude, this is a PvE. This is not like, what
Yeah,
are we doing
yeah.
here? This is, and
Oh my
and you know
goodness.
what? Like the other teammates started shooting at him too.
Oh
So
my
like
goodness.
basically
Yeah.
he just had to go run off by himself the whole entire mission. And then it got to the point where
so
he
good.
pissed everybody off, everybody left, and I was like, "Man, we're almost done. I'm just going to stick around." And then he started being somewhat nice to me because he needed me to get through the mission. So I'm like, "Okay."
That's painful.
Yeah.
That is painful. Well, is there anything in the next couple of weeks that you guys are super interested in? It's coming up.
Hell yeah. So next week, a game that I am really excited about. It is called No Time to Die. Nobody Wants to Die. See, I keep getting the
Some
name
sort
of
of James
this.
Bond thing, I guess.
That's what it sounds like.
Surprisingly enough, it's it kind of has a little bit that vibe, but it's more of it is a detective, like LA noir type crime game, and it looks very AAA, narrative driven.
Wow, okay.
It is very low on the radar, and it's not to anybody else's fault as much as it is the developers just are not communicating.
Right.
Because I know Dano's been trying to get in contact with them and trying to see if we can't get review codes or something. And I don't think there's
I've
much.
heard of it, but I didn't even know it was coming out so soon.
Dude, I didn't either. So I first found out about it. I'm trying to look to figure out the exact name. It's Nobody Wants to Die. Nobody Wants to Die.
Okay.
So it was announced in January. Like, and
What?
the way it was announced was like, no. It was announced in March because
Okay.
I wrote the article for it. It was like one of my first articles that I wrote for the website. Was this game getting announced? And I was super pumped about it because I wrote the article an hour after it got announced. And they did a thing where like IGN was the one to break the news. And I don't know if you noticed that, but that's even like IGN's been doing this thing lately, and they did it this week with the Metal Gear Solid game, right? So they did the same thing with this Nobody Wants to Die game. So they announced it, and apparently there was a gameplay video that came out. I haven't seen it yet, like a week or two ago.
No.
But
Okay.
it looks like BioShock. Like the vibe is very BioShock, but it's like it's in a dystopian cyberpunk future LA noir type first person narrative driven. I'm like, this game looks so freaking cool, very unique. And again, there's just no communication. Like, I don't even know how much it costs. Because if you go to PlayStation, you go to Xbox, you go to Steam.
It's on consoles?
It's on consoles. It's coming to all the consoles. I don't know if it's coming to Switch. But, like, even on Steam, you can wishlist it. Steam says it's coming out in 3 days, 4 days, or whatever. No price. I don't even know if I could go into GameStop and pre-order it. So I don't know what's up with the game, but I am really super stoked for it. I'm supposed to be reviewing it. I might not be able to even get the game until next weekend, but we'll see. But yeah, that is 100% on the list of.
I really like those detective games.
Oh, me
too. There was a couple that old, and I got a couple of months ago. They all went on sale. Those Sherlock Holmes games.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard good.
I don't know
about
what
them.
There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah,
and I played the first one back on the 360, and like those are fun.
Really?
Just trying to figure out the LA noir, trying to figure out the crime and who did it, and you can get it wrong,
right?
And then you just go on from there. And I think there was like a horror one, Sunken City or something.
Oh.
Something
is that a
along
detective
those
type game?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
The Hollow City or the Sunken City or something like that. City.
Yeah, and then there's a second one coming out.
Yeah, that's all based on like H.P. Lovecraft, like Cthulhu style horror detective game.
I've got it on my wish list.
Yeah, I bought because it came in that pack. I think it was like $25, and I got three Sherlock Holmes games and this Sunken City. So
really,
they're just sitting in my pile of games that I have to play. And since I finished Jedi Survivor, I was like, what am I gonna do next? Do I want to dive into something big, or do I want to like knock off a few smaller titles? I really want to play Metal Gear Solid 5. I haven't played it, and I want to. Yeah, I was actually thinking about just playing. Yeah, I was thinking about playing. You know how they did that kind of prequel Ground Zeroes?
Yes, I did play that.
I was thinking about playing that and just kind of seeing how I felt.
Seeing how you feel about it. Yeah, it would be good for seeing how you feel about it. It is a glorified demo, is what it is.
Right.
So
okay. Yep.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're not wrong, like seeing what you feel, but in my opinion, I would just go ahead and play.
Be better off just jumping straight into 5. Yeah,
you would know within the first hour or two, just like you would if you played Ground Zero. Because I think I could be very, very wrong on this, dude. I'm so rusty on this information, but like I'm pretty sure that with Ground Zero, it's like a portion of the game, like from the center of it. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Or it could just be the very beginning of the game, if I'm wrong. I don't know. See, I'm not a huge Hideo Kojima fan. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've played some of
Yep.
it, but 5 is actually the only one I played. I had a
Right.
good time with it.
Yep.
And if you are into stealth games, you will like that game.
Yeah, cool.
If you're going for a good story, I don't know if you'll find it. That
Yeah.
might be like
Yeah, see,
super controversial, but
I like his stuff. Like, I love the
okay,
weird and
then you'll like
wacky,
it.
wild. Yeah.
That's an all
Cool. All
timer for
right.
people. I think so. I think
Yeah.
it's an all timer for people.
Yeah.
Have you ever
And
played that,
as
Russell?
I think
Oh no, go ahead.
no.
No.
Yep. Cool. Done. Done. Isn't Flintlock coming out this week as well?
It is coming out this week. I know
Or
that's
is that
like
next week?
top of Dano's hype list.
Yeah. That,
I
it
can
looks
tell.
good. It looks good. It
Yeah.
does look good.
And then,
All right.
what? Oh, you've already told us what you're playing next week, didn't you, Russell? You got your whole dilemma between playing
Well, it's not really a dilemma. It doesn't. I've been messaging Dano a little bit during stuff, so we got a review code for what I'm playing now, and it doesn't sound like we're getting one for Evil v Evil. So I'm gonna
Okay.
concentrate on this first.
Yeah.
And then I told him if someone else wants to review it before I get to it, then let them.
Yeah.
So then I'll just buy Evil v Evil. I'm buying it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then at some point I'll get to that. Hopefully, I want to. He doesn't seem to be rushing me on this since again the game launched out of early access today. I just got the code yesterday, but I don't know why it was so last minute. But
Yeah. I think that's
is what it
actually
is.
it's worth mentioning to the listeners that if you're not a part of the group and aren't aware of how our reviews work here, basically since we're very new, whether we get a code for a game to review is very hit or miss. So if we do not get a code for a game, none of us are getting paid. We're all like, if we end up having to buy a game, then it's going to be like, well, the review gets done when it gets done. We're going to try our very best to get it out as soon as we can. But, we've all got full-time jobs. Like, this is just a hobby side thing we're all doing. We do it out of love. We do it out of passion. We do it for a community.
Yeah.
So it's like our reviews they'll get to you when they get to you, basically. Especially, more Fraser's more on top of it than any of us. So I, especially when it comes to me, because I'm supposed to be reviewing this Once Human game, and again, I haven't even gotten to it yet. So me and Fraser were talking beforehand, and we're probably gonna just work on it together as far as because he's gotten more hours into it. Yeah. So do you guys want to go ahead and wrap this episode up and then talk about it in a separate mini one, or do you guys want to just?
Yep. No, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it that way.
Let's do that.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for
Russell?
listening.
Yeah.
And let's see. We'll air. I'm deciding this right now. This episode's gonna air Sunday, so we will air our Once Human. Either if it doesn't air the same day, it's gonna air on Monday. So, thank you guys so much for listening. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Peace.